Most men are deeply disconnected from their bodies. From what I know, there is not a framework that exists for men to become more in tune with their bodies. This is the first video of the Sensuality for Men series. This is going to be a 3-part series, maybe 4, depending on if I can get through a good amount of the information. But this video is going to be more of a foundation of the things we're going to be going over. I kind of think in ways it's not really even encouraged now between men between the ages of, say like 21 and 40. I think that is one of the biggest reasons for a lot of the woes that are happening interpersonally between like men and women, and just that relationships in general starts with the man. That's just me. Don't get mad at me. It's a two-way street, though. I will say that it is a two-way street. But this video is about the men and how we as men need to become more connected and more in tune with our bodies to really forego a lot of issues that are going on within Western society. Like I said, there are no real frameworks that exist for things like body awareness, emotional presence, slowness, sensitivity, and intimacy beyond performance in the bedroom. I feel like that world is very detrimental and is very one-dimensional as far as how we think about sex with women. The issue is most men are thinking from the body's perspective, not actually inside of the body. I'll go more into it. A lot of men experience life through a lot of mental pressure, anxiety about performance, a lot of tension, fantasy, that's a big one, overstimulation, and a lot of urgency. There's very little breath awareness, bodily awareness, groundedness, very important physical presence. Men on whole, we are taught to override ourselves, meaning the natural occurrences that happen throughout the human body and the brain and the emotional spectrum. Men are literally taught to just override it. Like, oh, you feel that way? Cool. On to the next thing. Or, oh, this thing just happened to me. It's pretty traumatic. On to the next thing. It's not going to pay my bills, so the fuck am I worried about it for? I've fallen victim to this mindset. I think every guy has, honestly. We're taught to ignore exhaustion, ignore emotion, ignore tension, ignore the body. All these things that are like integral to being like a fucking person, we are taught to ignore. A lot of men are not actually present during sex at all. Automatically the goal is, well, thinking with, your dick, you have one goal now. Your one goal is to get in there and release. Because we've been taught to just override ourselves and suppress shit. I'm going to go over a different aspect of that, where releasing into a woman with all this emotional suppression is in turn making woman a certain way. But that's very like esoteric, and I want to be able to lay down a proper guideline for that before I introduce that type of topic. A lot of men mentally are performing, overstimulated, anxious, like I said, visually overloaded, entrapped in a fantasy. essentially. Most importantly, disconnected from sensation. Porn has a lot to do with this. Porn has a lot to do with the what was that? Yeah, the fantasy aspect as well. Men who consume too much porn eventually get trapped into this paradigm of a constant state of craving overstimulation. A woman's body almost becomes sensory overload. Instead of slowing down and experiencing connection, there becomes this thing of like rushing. You wonder why a lot of women aren't necessarily satisfied. And they have to go through certain lengths to satisfy themselves in different ways. You know, whether that's, attention or just constant sex to kind of numb out the fact that they're not being fully fed. That's the best way I could put that. A lot of men actually forget to appreciate the body of the person they say they love. I've done it myself. I'm not speaking as like a fucking saint here at all. People that are in well-connected, intimate relationships, that's a very different paradigm. We're talking about two people that have taken the leap of faith to get to know each other and really kind of mesh worlds. That is a completely different set of everything. When you take this mental framework of not being present and not slowing down, and you try to build like a deep connection with someone, what ends up normally happening is like a breakdown, because she feels there's something off. Maybe you feel there's something off. There isn't a well-defined reason as to why. A lot of things start and end with the sexual aspect and the intimacy aspect of a relationship, but that is another video. A big one for me is the breath and nervous system regulation. Comes with men and men becoming closer with their bodies. One of the biggest things men forget to do when they're having sex is breathing. It's the craziest shit. Like, you would think like, yeah, no, it's breathing. Oh, you came too fast. Were you breathing? Was the box that good, or did you just forget to fucking breathe, bro? Like, honestly, like, breathing slows the nervous system down. It creates awareness. It brings you back to your body. A lot of men are rushing so intensely that they stop feeling complete. And all in all, really, I'm talking about a different level of intimacy. Yes, you can have good sex with, a current mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to release. And we're going to have this moment of just releasing and orgasming. But what I'm trying to put out to y'all is there is a deeper layer to go. So another thing too, and I think I touched on it a little bit, where men, we are trained to kind of override ourselves, and we're holding all this tension in, and then we are having intimacy with women. Most men need to slow the fuck down. Slow the fuck down. Not just sexually, but in general. Slow down enough to just breathe, observe, feel, notice where there's tension in your body. Like, relax your shoulders throughout the day. There's lots of different aspects that you can do to help yourself become more present as a man. I think men are starving for some sort of embodiment without really realizing it. Not more stimulation, not more fantasy, but just fullness. I believe that this is something that like religion tries to do, but fails miserably. the only real way to get that fullness is through connection with the body and your breath, your awareness to how things feel on your body, your how your emotions hit you and where they hit you. These are all very important things to becoming sensually whole. And, speaking to the guys, women feel the difference. They know. They don't know how they know, but they know. They are operating on a completely different vibration and a completely different spectrum of feeling. And even talking about this or even attempting this as a man, this sensual kind of framework is only getting like a fraction to like how they feel every day. That's just my 2 cents. But if you have questions or anything, let me know and we'll get to it. Peace.